It's showtime. So come on in, grab a glass of wine, and join me. Please let me know that the sound is good. My mic, I don't know. Let me see if I can back away from it. Shout out to all of you joining me tonight. Please hit the like on your way in. It's a little bit of Sunday music and cool down, maybe some conversation to end this, what do we call it? Actually, it's the start of a new week, isn't it? On Sundays, but I'll call it to wrap up the weekend. It couldn't be any more relaxing than that, taking me back to the time when I would come on and just play, jazz music, relaxing, soothing sounds when I was first starting off. Yeah. And right now, we could use some of that. Yeah. I see Cups at the bottom, Junebug, Vicky Black, my moderator, Baby Juju, Fiva, Kaya, Sharon, all of you that are joining me here tonight. I see Lisa as well. So, what's on your mind tonight? Do we just want to chill out, or do we want to? When I say do we want to, you see, I'm starting early enough. It's 9:32 to be exact, where we could, talk about something. Yeah, all of the news has been this week. We've been, focusing on Charlie Kirk and that tragic, but maybe something on could be related. When I say it could be related, it could be about any new findings, any new, news of this, of the alleged, what are we going to call him? Assassin. Yeah. I read in more than one article that this roommate is cooperating. And I believe even the Utah governor has mentioned that this is supposed to be a trans woman, his roommate, or in transition. How about that? Yeah. Talking about anything to do with that subject, that can be, it's one of those things that I've never really talked about it. Not really. The only time I think that I've, may have mentioned it, it came up way back when, in 2021. Yeah, so I started thinking about something, looking back into those NOSEYHEAUX live videos. To see if there was something there, something that perhaps we have missed. Something there, maybe something we have missed. Okay? Won't go too far. I'll just see how you guys are tonight. All right, let me pull my mic a little closer. Let's turn the volume up. I turn the music off. All right. Is that better? Is that better? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Hang on for a second. Let me just it's still low, really. That's yes. Let's see what I can do about that. Does it sound like I'm far away because I can hear myself in these speakers? Let me turn the speakers down because I don't want to put on the headphones. And I have my bottled water. Just went to get it, grab it. I have my dog. He's lying on the floor, not too far from me. So hopefully he won't make any noise. If so, I will stop and yeah. So, again, what's on your mind tonight? Starting at the bottom, let's see. Is the sound good now? Viva says sound is good. Cup says you sound good to me. My moderator, Vicky Black, will make sure. I don't know if you're listening on your phone or TV. Check the volume just to make sure. You can email me right now at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. All right. So, do you remember the video? Let's see. What did NOSEYHEAUX call it? The official funeral of Queen Tulsa. A roasting of a plucked pigeon. Does anyone remember that video? I believe the earliest date I have on it, and I can check because I, have a copy of it, would have been right around July the 9th, I believe. Let me see. Yes, it was right around at least July 10, July 9. Yeah, that's what this one is marked as, but it could have been. It certainly wouldn't have been when I downloaded it. I just see a date on it of July 10, 2021. Okay. You don't remember that. Okay. Let me go back to my. Let's see which one here. Let me just go. Okay. Let's go again over some important timelines. On 6/18/2021, Nosy Whole Life interviewed Monique Tolbert. Okay. On the same day and recorded later, at least it shows on the date of the video. I don't have the complete video. I only have maybe one or two clips along with some posts of the video. Down the Rabbit Hole News interviewed Monique Tolbert. It was a pre-recorded interview. Monique Tolbert was in her office in Lake Charles, and we'll say that Angelica Floyd, her office was in the same building. It wasn't a large building, right? It was just offices, some open space as it appeared. Remember I showed you that picture of the building? That was the building that had some damage to it after the hurricane and all that. Yeah. It was a kind of a orange to burnt orange, brick building, all one color. I think, looked like it was painted from the outside. Mm-hmm. And so it would have been shortly thereafter that Monique Tolbert was interviewed by Black Rabbit. Okay. Then on 6/23, Down the Rabbit Hole News created this video. I've played it. Called The Calm Before the Storm. A heads up. Something is on its way. And she told us she wasn't, she was kind of giving a warning. No, guys, I'm serious here. Something, 5 days after Miss Tolbert had her interview. Okay. Also, keep in mind that was the weekend between the 18th and the 23rd. Was Father's Day weekend, I believe it was. On the same day, in Nosy Whole Life's video, in the chat, there was this Kaiser Sose avatar that I would later learn it was Danielle. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to say allegedly, but that was a signal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're on our way. It's going to get hotter. It's going to get hotter, with the smoke and all of that. Mm-hmm. And then David Johnson letter was sent first to Cups of Conversations 1 day later, 6/24. And then on 6/27 is when truth teller Dani showed up. YouTube. Truth teller. On July 5th, this David Johnson letter was sent to multiple content creators. I was one of them. I didn't open the letter for a year. On the 10th of July, NOSEYHEAUX Live received a cease and desist with an ultimatum that if she didn't, well, something might just, like, it had the tone of, like, if you don't do this, then that. NOSEYHEAUX Live, she made this video. It was on a Saturday, I believe it was. And she took to her mic and she looked in the camera and, what she said to Monica about her cease and desist letter. This troll letter. Looking back and reading the letter, it all had the hallmarks, the writings, the sound of cease and desist letters that have come since then. And then let's take this banner down so you can see it. Not too long after, on July 12th, just 2 days later after NOSEYHEAUX Live told Monica about her cease and desist letter, or could that have been somebody else? Dani Robertson creates her channel. That she has her main channel now. Okay, and her first NOSEYHEAUX Live video dropped 2 days later on the 14th. These dates are important because I'm looking at the date when NOSEYHEAUX Live created that video, the one that I mentioned. So it would have before, just a couple of days before, the official funeral of Queen Tulsa, a roasting of a plucked pigeon. On that 3.5-hour video that NOSEYHEAUX Live created, so that some of you that don't have a background of it, let's throw the fireplace up, back up. I'll get rid of it. There we go. NOSEYHEAUX Live, she was being trolled. Things that happened, around the All About the Tea, the panel, and Plez had left, and well, who joined NOSEYHEAUX Live on that panel? It was set up. NOSEYHEAUX Live had put out that she was going to have this contest. I'm going to call it a contest. And she was going to pay $500, to the best roast of Tulsa, Queen Tulsa. On the panel to be the judges were some of the panel members from All About the Tea. So Debonair, Marcella, Princess. There was another woman on that panel. I'd have to pull up the video. I have it. And I wonder if she was under a different name. Looking at the video quickly, I saw the name Sinitra, but I'm not certain if she was on the panel. Fair use commentary. Okay. Oh, I can check it because, of course, I have the video. Dates are important. Receipts are important. Breadcrumbs are important. Seeing what we missed is important. So, not only were entries submitted to NOSEYHEAUX Live, the panelists offered their own roasting of Tulsa. Okay. Tulsa also, during that live, showed up. The live was about 3 hours and let's just call it 3 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. And Marcella had made, I'll just say, impromptu. Part of her submission were impromptu, and it appeared that she had, at least created one, and they took turns reading or playing clips of these entries. Yeah. I'm going to ask a question. Maybe someone can help me out to fill in a blank or two. Fill in a blank or two. Does anyone recall whether or not NOSEYHEAUX Live mentioned having had a friend or a partner that was trans at any time? Please be respectful in the chat. All comments and opinions are those of the chat and whose ever opinion NOSEYHEAUX Live is the L in the letters, right? I want to be careful here. She's the L in the LGBTQ. See how you see how easy that is, or how I think that's proper, decent, a respectable way to say it. Any mention of that. Okay. You can email me right now at unwinewithteddy at gmail.com. Mhm. You don't recall? Yeah, that's some time ago. There's something that I remember. I'm looking for something. Mhm. All right, so we just going to put that off to the side for just a minute. Okay. Again, anything that I talk about, I want to have receipts. I want to have receipts. Okay. Vicky says, I'm quite sure she had friends. That part I seem to remember. That in her videos. And you know I have a lot of her videos. Mm-hmm. Where she mentioned that she had, friends. Right? I think I recall, how she felt about, we'll just say, guys. Mm-hmm. Just in general. All right. Because I remember, I'm going somewhere here, guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember how she, talked about things in some of the videos of hers that I've never played on this platform. Okay. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we'll just park that off to the side. Well, back to this video. And I'm going to need to go through it more thoroughly. Okay. Remember the date, July. I have July the 10th on this video. So it could be plus or minus 1 day off. Right? Somewhere like that. Right out of the gate, when Danielle started making her videos about NOSEYHEAUX Live, she started talking about hang on. Let me make sure. I'm going to throw something. I got to throw up a banner. So I want to get my dates right. Correct. So again, we're talking about July, right? Okay. That that roast of Tulsa. Mhm. Making fun of Tulsa. Mhm. Mhm. That got included the notion that Nosy Whole Life would be pinned with being transphobic. Fair use commentary. This broadcast is for education, criticism, news reporting, teaching, and for entertainment purposes only. That label was embedded. It was repeated so it would be seared in the memories of listeners. Mm-hmm. And Nosy Whole Life, if I recall, and again, I'd go through that video. At some point, she was adamant that she had friends that were trans. Mm-hmm. Kind of like in a response to that. But she was labeled as transphobic. So, got the L's, you got the G's, you got the B's, you got the T's, and the Q's. There has been somewhere that I've read. Let me just of all of the Q's, I'm not. Let's just take the first four. Mm-hmm. LGBT. Okay. So I don't really hear very much about Q's, but I'm not in that community, so I don't know. Fair use commentary. This broadcast is for education, criticism, for a mature audience only, entertainment purposes for our learning. Yeah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with talking about the community if you do it in a respectful manner. Okay. And that's the only way I'm going to do it. That's the only way. I don't care who's listening. I don't care who's recording. I don't care how you're going to spin it. But I just want to have a conversation. Because, you see, I don't know everything. I don't. It's about a conversation, about a dialogue, about debate. Yeah. So, one of the things that I've come across, it seems consistent, that within the alphabets, that there's a feeling that Americans don't accept yet the T in the LGBTQ. And that group inside of there feel, even within the LGBTQ community, that there's some question of acceptance even within the community. Am I off? Is that true? Is there any truth? Is there any truth to that? Is there any truth to that? Yes, that they don't accept the trans as again, I'm not in the community, so I don't know. But this is what I've been I'm doing my own little research, looking around, because I don't want to misinformation, or there's a difference between misinformation and disinformation. There really is. So I don't want to plant that idea, but I've seen enough articles that seem to point to that being, there's some truth to it. Okay. That even some gay men, the G, don't accept the trans women. Okay. And right now, it's getting a lot more highlight. Not in such a good way. Because, with this recent event and the one before, don't forget Minnesota, don't forget, it seems like being the highlight is bringing it to the surface. You're hearing more about, and I never thought of it, relating it to any kind of movement within a movement or group, or splintering, if I could say that. Like within the community, are they supported? I'm talking about, amongst the LGBT, DQ, well, all the alphabets before them. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, they feel that they need even an extra layer of um, I would say support. I'll just say support. No, I can't sit here and say I don't know anything. Okay. So I'm having a discussion, within the boundaries of this, in the context of our, you know, platform here. And yeah, just stay, just stay on par with everybody. Yeah. Cup says trans have support from the LGBTQ community, but they are or may feel like outsiders. Yes, like an outsider. So, I mean, not only outsider because you're in that community, but I'm saying within the community. So I'm trying to, that's what I'm asking. That's why I say even more support. Yeah. Have a reason to. Yeah. Okay. So within this video, Tulsa, Queen Tulsa, uh, is the target of this roast, the roasting, the funeral of Queen Tulsa. It's supposed to be in gist. I think having a little fun with it. I'm going to say it in that way because Tulsa came on and said a few things, and it was at some point it got into just a little bit of with NOSEYHEAUX Live between what she said and Tulsa. Okay. At first, it was, the mood was very jovial, fun. Everybody's, panels laughing, and, Marcella's dancing around, people changing wigs, and just, reading posts, and so Deb, and, it's just everybody's just, kind of having some fun, right? Uh, it was uh, on the surface, everybody knew about it. Right. People were submitting entries. And people thought it was funny. Yeah. What is this? They had that funeral because Tulsa was trolling the panel members. Yes. I said trolling. There was some trolling going on. So it wasn't as the. All right. I'll just. Wait a minute. Let me see how I'm going to say this. So A comes before B, right? So the roast was precipitated on or upon Tulsa having had trolled the panel members. Am I getting that correct? So there was a little history there. And wasn't Tulsa also, um, wasn't she on Monica's panel from time to time? Can someone quickly tell me that? Because I have videos, and it seemed like I remember Tulsa would have some input on the panel. Because I wasn't watching All About the Tea. Okay. So, all right. So, yes. So she came from the All About the Tea channel. All right. So she was familiar with the panel members, and the panel members were familiar with her. Was she ever a regular on All About the Tea? Or was she like just occasionally part time? Tulsa. Tulsa was okay occasionally. Has Tulsa ever been taken? Again, I don't. I know somewhat about her. I've never really watched videos. Not really. I know who Tulsa is. Yeah, Tulsa's been around for a long time. Tulsa's been here. Sparkle has been here. Mm-hmm. And Sparkle and Tulsa, for some reason, sometimes I do tend to get the two mixed up. But I know who I'm talking about tonight. I know Tulsa. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then, was there a fallout? I asked about the panel, whether she was a regular occasionally. Was Tulsa ever, if you remember, was she ever at odds or said anything about Monica? Or seemed to know a little bit more about Monica? Did she ever imply, I should say, hmm. Tulsa just trolled. Nothing that she said. What exactly? Okay, that's what. Although I didn't ask it quite like that, that's exactly what I wanted to ask. Was Tulsa ever taken seriously? Or was she going along with it? It was, all fun and no harm, no foul. Mm-hmm. All right, that's important. So she was team all about the tea. Okay. That's what Cups seems like. She wanted to cause chaos, but she was team all about the tea. Okay. Did she ever come across as, so you said, not taken seriously, um, laughed at herself sometimes? May, um, yeah. So people didn't take her seriously. She didn't take herself seriously. Is that what I'm getting? During that video, and again, I'm gonna go back and look a little bit closely at it. This was just before Danielle landed. Mm-hmm. As well. Posts were made, videos were made, and the narrative and the label was that one of the labels that got linked to NOSEYHEAUX Live before the final, the takedown, because it didn't take too long. It was exactly 2 months from the time Danielle came on this platform to the takedown of NOSEYHEAUX Live. Exactly 2 months. Let's go back to that date. NOSEYHEAUX Live was taken down on the first time. Okay, wait a minute. It was the 27th of August. You see that? 6/27. That's when she created the first channel, Truth Teller. And on 8/27, mission accomplished for Danielle. Take NOSEYHEAUX Live down. Mm-hmm. Facts. There is nothing that I'm going to show, no dates, nothing that I don't have receipts for. Nothing. Okay. Nothing that I talk about or anything that I talk about, I could say. There won't be nothing that I talk about that I don't have a receipt for. Different ways to say it. NOSEYHEAUX Live had that as a label. It was promoted. It was tagged along with her having a history of harassment. 1. This is what was sent to People magazine and others. History of harassment, cyberbullying, stalking, hate speech, transphobic, self-hating of Nigerians, Jamaicans, whites, biracials, degrading black women. The list is extensive. but transphobic stands out. Why? Why and when did she get that label? Why and when did she get that label? She got that label. That video. My opinion, still looking for receipts. Nosey's receipts. Y'all know I got receipts, right? I just don't know what I don't know. But I know I have the receipts. When Dani Robertson created her first video, second video, and I'll look up the date of this one. At the end of her video, and I've shown this, this is one of when she was first making those black and white videos. Just, it's just print. It followed. Believe it or not, I was doing black and white. Okay. Videos. I'm looking back at that, and I'm looking back at my videos and seeing how I had set my videos up before she even landed the mothership. Okay? That's just a side. But when she first started creating her videos on NOSEYHEAUX Live, at the end of one of her videos, and I have the receipt, it says created by, and then it's like scrolling up like a movie, like a trailer, okay? At the end, as the next line comes up, it reads Daniel. Daniel Robertson. The credits, yes, on a movie. Daniel. Not Danielle. Daniel. And she blurs the name out as it's coming up. The credits are coming up and she's blurring it out, like spreading out the words, the blur mark. Daniel. Daniel. Daniel Robertson. Directed by. Why is she blurring out the name? Why? Only she can tell us that, Daniel. Is your name Daniel? First, and then you came out with Dani, and then Danielle, Daniela? These are just questions. That's the first time. I have brought this up before. Remember? I didn't just create this. Y'all got to remember, I have every video. I have every dirty delete of Daniel. Danielle? Daniel? Is it Daniel? Which is it? That's not two L's and an E. You see where the R, the capital R for Robertson? You see the width of it? You see the edge after the I is the E. I have the video. So as it's coming up, it's moving across, eventually covers the entire name. Okay. Remember, she's or he or whoever is anonymous. We don't know who this person is. I don't know if it's a man. I don't know if it's a woman. I don't know if it's... I don't, do I? She's anonymous and she says she needs to stay anonymous. Why? I have talked about this before, this post. That's the first time the name Daniel has come up. I know that's not Danielle. That's Daniel. Okay. Fair use commentary. Fair use commentary is printed. I'm commenting on it. I didn't create that. I didn't change it. I just asked. Them, they, pronouns. I see that with cups. Who is David Johnson? Another man. David? David. David, a lot of male names in the beginning. Park that for a moment. Let's go back. I'm only asking questions, and I haven't asked the hard-hitting one. NOSEYHEAUX Live was said to hurt someone that Danielle loves. We know it's somebody that she loves, somebody close. Oh, I know people listening now. It's Sunday night and it's 10:36, and oh, I talk so slow. The roast. Yeah. Was someone heard about that? Did someone remember that? Did someone remember those panel members? So Deb, Marcella, Princess, Nosy Whole Life on the panel together. I need to find Sanitra. Was Sanitra? At one point, there were 5 people on that panel. And then Tulsa came up too. And I said it went from, it was fun and jovial, and then it seems like I recall, and I could play it, that Nosy Whole Life, it just, then she kind of like sat up and said a few things. Y'all know how Nosy Whole Life is. Mm-hmm. In one of Danielle's videos, not long after that, she said something about, and it was, I think, in the Monica. You see why I want to play these videos? Or conversely, do you see why she doesn't want me to play these videos? Because I can go back and I could make it make sense if we could go through one by one, ping pong, Nosy Whole Life video against her video. Because inside of her videos are Nosy Whole Live clips of her videos. So things that she wanted to emphasize to her audience that she would put in her videos. Isn't that what she does now? She hasn't changed. She hasn't changed. Danielle takes people's videos, clips from people's videos, inserts them in her videos, and talks about things that she wants to emphasize. Yes. She did it with Nosy Whole Lives videos. There's a lot of breadcrumbs in her videos. Things that she wanted to emphasize, points that she wanted to get across, and things that she repeated, and things that she was passionate about, and part of the revenge, not just against Nosy Whole Life, but remember everybody that participated in what? The scam of Avatar, but really it was those who had supported Nosy Whole Live, those that were part of her, the group, because the panel members quickly formed around and supported and went to Nosy Whole Life because Nosy Whole Life had offered them a platform without really saying it, because Nosy Hole Live was also had encouraged them to start your own, Do you remember that? So initially, they weren't really going out. They were around Nosy Hole Live and sitting with her. But Nosy Hole Live was saying to them, you, I'd be making money on that. You should make videos. You have a lot you can be talking about. But somehow, in the sequence of things, I think somebody early on didn't like that part either. Didn't take so well to the panel creating and participating in the roast of Queen Tulsa. Haven't you noticed a kind of push and a pull between Queen Tulsa at times and Danielle? And when I say a push and a pull, it's like, are you with her? Or are you not with her? Is she on your side or are you not on your side? I mean, has she ever, okay, so one time, or did she like put up a picture of Tulsa? Was that Tulsa in a jumpsuit, or was that Sparkle in a jumpsuit? Quickly hit the buzzer if anybody remembers. Was that Tulsa in a jumpsuit, or was that Sparkle in a jumpsuit? Oh, yes, don't forget. Tulsa said Dani was meeting her birthday celebration. California. 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 Oh, she's going to fly out. She's going to meet me. Remember? So they have this kind of closeness, right? Because if Danielle can meet up with Tulsa, aren't they close? Does Tulsa know Danielle? So then that's my first real question again. I've talked about this. Or is that a red herring? Is that real? That's why I ask, do people take Tulsa seriously? You see how we come like full circle, like listen carefully? But do you know that in my case, do you know that Danielle sent, as part of like one of her filings, she sent that picture, like a little video clip of when I talked about Tulsa? What's Tulsa got to do with anything? Why is she sending a picture to the judge about Tulsa? Somebody might say, why did she send that picture, and insert cups into my case either? What is she really trying to prove here? It's like, why did she add Tulsa? Or is that just something she just, puts everything in there? Why? Why did that catch her attention? Is it because I mentioned it and it was right there? Is it because people forgot about it? When was that? 23, 22? I don't know. I'd have to look back. Is it because she wonders, well, UNWINEWITHTEDDY hasn't talked about Tulsa. Why is she talking about Tulsa? What made her think about Tulsa? Oh. So is Tulsa just wanted to make that video and make us think a certain way? I could say more. I've been on for an hour and 22. Slow. Like the fireplace. It's a Sunday night. We haven't talked like this in a long time. No, I didn't call it analyze this. I just called it night talk. I said that was the first time for Daniel, correct? The second time the name Daniel, like a man, came up was Crazy Lucian. Oh, y'all forgot about her, right? Crazy Lucian mentioned the name Daniel to me. Daniel. Daniel? That's the second time that I've heard the name Daniel. The third time that we all witnessed this year, Daniel, was when the person who signed some document that was filed in the court in California had to, make a signature, right? Remember when I created that video? D4. Let's tell you. Did I call it disguise? Let's see. Getting through my videos. 2520.
And blockers.
Let's bring it over. The third time, when I was reviewing various signatures, the one that someone signed, I asked, why did they sign Daniel? Daniel. That's not Danielle. That's Daniel. The others electronically signed Daniel. Perfect. Electronically signed. Let's remove that. Okay. Let's see if I can take that off. Well, you can see. That one looks more not uniform. Like someone actually signed it, walked into, and delivered it. Like it's not, it has a certain flow, but it kind of has. And remember, I had AI look at that. Even AI kind of thought it was more masculine. For real. Even AI thought the first one was, kind of like a man would sign. Yeah, I don't know how AI works and how, it does its analysis when yeah. But when it looked at the three signatures, it definitely said 2 and 3. It's more, you could see it's electronic. You could see everything is perfect. You can see the L's and you can see the E's. You can see every letter that's repeated. It's the same. Look at the last Danielle. You can see the E. You can see how it's written, yeah. Who is Daniel? That's the third time I've seen Daniel show up when talking about Danielle Robertson. I don't know. Remember, this person is anonymous. We don't know who this person is, do we? Is it Danielle? Or is it Daniel? That's a fair question. Because, I didn't create these signatures. I didn't create the first one. I didn't create the trailer. Is that to throw folks off? Was it deliberate? Because Daniel, was Daniel who ever signed this? Could they just not want to write Danielle? Or when somebody's signing, they just sign their name, don't they? Daniel? Or did the person who signed this, didn't they know that the name was Daniel? So if it was someone different, this delivery person, let's just say, okay, and said they were they drop off the mail, they're just a runner. So the runner signed for Danielle as Daniel? They did they not know who the person's name on the lawsuit that was filed? Did they send somebody else? Because it was filed in California. That's a physical. Somebody apparently walked that in. Who is there? Is that a real signature? Or is that one of those electronic fake signatures? Make it look like it doesn't, make it look real, but it's fake. Yeah, I mean, I guess if with technology, remember, I don't know everything. But there's nothing really consistent in the first one except the way that letters are formed. These big loops and kind of boxy, full. Uh, Not necessarily everything falls on the line. Yeah. It looks more like a signature, it's like someone signed it, than not, like the others. Isn't that perfect? It's 11 o'clock. You like the fireplace? Oh, I had some music lined up, but yeah, then I started talking. And then, well, it's night talk. There's a little bit more to it. Ask yourself, for mature audiences, should I keep going? It's 11, straight up and down. Cub says maybe they signed it with the wrong hand to throw it off. I did think about that too. Thanks for reminding. Like if they're left hand or right. Yes, that's possible. Yeah, because it's like they were struggling to form even the D, like almost printed, like they couldn't, handwrite a large, cursive D. So the the first letter, yeah, that makes sense. Like to point that out. Yeah, uh like it's printed, like not cursive. Okay, I'm gonna drop the line and yeah, okay, make a D and okay, like you're saying, if it's like with the wrong hand, and then they're trying a little bit. I could see that as a possibility. Make that A, and they're trying, and here comes that R, and ah, that E, trying to make that big curl, make that big L, and come down. It's too straight. It's too sharp. Yes, like they took their time signing it, like struggling to write that name. Who is in California? There's some connection to California. You say that's not an authentic signature either. The other two seem like they are more authentic. They're authentic electronically. They're too perfect. Electronic signature. The first one appears to be by hand. Don't know which hand. But someone signed as Daniel. So for me, that stood out too. Yeah, at first glance, people are just looking at this and saying, oh, okay, three signatures, Daniel. They're not really looking at, don't have any receipts, can't ask the questions, don't know. Haven't a reference. This is the third time that Daniel has come up. Is it Daniel? I don't know. I just have seen Daniel 3 times. And the other Daniel, by the way, I just mentioned it. The second one in by Crazy Lucian. That person lives in California too. I don't know. Why California? I know. Yeah, coincidentally, that the Daniel that Crazy Lucian told me about lives in California. Hmm? Never talked about it. Yeah, but I told you I have receipts for everything. Hmm. So I'm just, somebody say go back to the beginning. Maybe things, when someone says you'll never figure it out, you'll never find me, you never. Maybe something so obvious isn't that obvious. Yes, California, definitely. There's something about California. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's something. What is the meaning? I don't know yet. Um, but we're just having a conversation. This isn't any conspiracy. Conspiracy, no. I'm asking questions about things that are right here in front of me. I'm not trying to create any specific narrative. I'm asking questions based on receipts, videos, and asking why. More like why were things said and or done? Could any of this be, like to throw us off? Yeah. Hmm. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Ooh. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yes. Emails, email. Um, okay. If you sent an email, I responded. Cups of Conversation says the beginning is important because that's where most mistakes were made. They were good at the hack, but mistakes were made for sure in the beginning. And that makes sense because the longer someone is at something, the more experience, the more they can correct mistakes, see what they've done wrong. Yeah, because they're trying it out, they're coming out. Yeah, I see. I get that. I agree. Baby Juju, they have many red herrings. So it's hard to say. That's what I know. It's hard. That's why they took channels down and deleted videos so they can control the narrative. Correct. Correct. Control the narrative because if people see the actual receipts, then just like the the mind starts churning, thinking, connecting, asking questions, curious. That's, it's like I'm only one mind. But if some other people would see this, go back and look, it might jar a memory. And that's why I asked the questions initially that I did about Nosy Whole Life, because I know somewhere in those videos are the answers to the questions that I asked tonight. I just need to find them. Mhm. Why was that label put on Nosy Whole Life? The transphobic label. She's in that community. they kept repeating it. Why? Why was someone so invested in getting those labels of NOSEYHEAUX live out in front of different media as well? Mhm. She was hurt because she has brought it up a few times. You gotta read between the lines and look at what's even being said today. Ask yourself some other questions. Why would a black woman, just a straight black woman, why would a straight black woman be so interested in things that, kind of like things that guys are more interested in doing? There's certain things I just can't put it together. I've asked these questions before. Maybe you guys haven't listened to me, so I'm just kind of turning up a little bit more. Since when do you know of a black woman, straight black woman, that uses corn as a weapon against other black women? Come on. Weaponizes, sexualizes other black women. Ooh, talks about the way black women looks, focuses on stuff. Corn bombing. That's a male kind of a thing. I just what black woman do you know that is fascinated with a male figure as their hero? A criminal figure as their hero and emulates them. What black woman, straight black woman, do you know that has a fetish, an affinity for horror? Something doesn't add up. I would just say it seems out of character. I'm a black woman now. I don't know every black woman, but I bet you I could say that. It would be shocking to me. I don't know. But if I were to have, this isn't about race, so don't run that. If you want to run that table, we can just run it. Okay. But I have the right to ask because I'm a black woman. So, what straight black woman do you know that kind of I'm just asking questions. I don't know. I don't know. These are fair questions. I'm just saying the behavior, things like, I don't, just something about something. And it's okay. Now I've been real respectful. I'm not. Don't y'all stretch this, because if you stretch it, then I'm gonna pull something out. Because y'all know I have receipts, right? So I can't square. I can't, and I've struggled to square some of this, and I've told you that before. Even remember when I've talked about DEA, I said, but certain things I don't know. Certain things I don't have the answers to. Certain things make sense, and others don't. Remember when she said, you can be related to someone. You don't have to be sister, brother, this one or that one as a family member. You don't know how I'm connected, but it is someone. Oh, it is someone that she loves. Hurt someone. She repeated it 3 times, separate dates, emphasis. Nosy whole life hurt someone she loved. That's why she came to this platform. She said, y'all got it all wrong with Monique Tolbert. Y'all got it all wrong. Watch how she moved during the 2 months. Watch what she talked about. Think outside of the box. Think outside of the box. That's all I'm doing, is thinking a little bit outside of the box. Because some things that she said, the breadcrumbs they're there. Have we just overlooked things? Is, you know, is this Daniel? Daniel. Didn't say that's the real name. I said, is this Daniel? I don't know. I'm just thinking outside of the box and think about the things that she talks about and the things that she champions. Ask yourself why. Is there a push and a pull? That's it. I've talked for 2 hours. We're done. I'm not harassing anybody. No. I didn't accuse anybody of anything. I put up a couple of receipts and I talked about what I know as receipts and a video. Yeah. Hmm. They're anonymous. We don't know. We don't know, do we? Yeah. Little fireplace chat tonight. Uh, and you can email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Oh, all right. So, it's just like right as I'm getting ready to check the email, something new. What do we have here? Okay. The one thing that we didn't have, I already thought about that for somebody that just sent an email. The one thing that we didn't have 4 years ago is we didn't have AI as accessible to take a look back. All right. Uh, Reminiscing about the past with some old friends by the fireplace. That's all. All right. Just having a conversation. That's it. Yeah. All right. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honeybears. Please hit the like on your way out, and that will do it for me. Sometime tomorrow, plan to come back. It will be the start of a new week. Yeah. The crackling of the fireplace just made me light my wooden wick candle. So soothing. I turned it down a little bit, but you should hear it. Yeah. It's there for you. All right. That will do it for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.